Welcome to Not Your Average Counsellor, the space where we tackle the unfiltered, often messy realities of love, relationships, and human connection. I'm V Vinci, and I am not your run-of-the-mill counsellor. With over a decade of experience working with clients and my own lived experiences to draw from, I help people all their hidden parts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because only when we face our truth can we step into our most authentic selves. This series, Messy Truths, is where we dive headfirst into the things we're all thinking, but nobody's brave enough to say out loud. You know, those 2 a.m. thoughts that make you question everything about your relationship, your choices, your sanity. We're breaking down the tough questions people are often afraid to ask. The ones that make you squirm, laugh nervously, and then immediately text your friend saying, "Oh my God, did you hear that episode?" We'll explore the emotional, psychological, and social dynamics at play. Have you ever wondered if it's manipulative to use your partner's insecurities to win arguments? Or questioned whether you should stay with someone who refuses to work on their mental health? If you've ever found yourself thinking, is it selfish to not want children when my partner desperately does? Or should I fake orgasms to protect my partner's feelings? You're not alone, and you're definitely in the right place. No sugarcoating, no cliches, just honest conversations about the messy, complicated, sometimes hilarious reality of being human in relationships. This is where your inside thoughts finally get their moment in the spotlight. Let's get uncomfortable together. Welcome back to Not Your Average Counsellor. I am V Vinci, relationship and family therapist and founder of Headquarters Counselling Services. Today we are diving into a tricky but vital question many couples face. Is it fair to make major life decisions without checking in with your partner? It's not as simple as a yes or no, no shit Sherlock, because independence matters. But partnership matters. So where's the line and what happens when one person crosses it? Now let's unpack this together. Relationships live in the tension between me and we. We all want personal freedom. The ability to make choices without being second-guessed or micromanaged. And at the same time, we want to feel safe sharing big decisions with the person closest to us. The excuses that people give for not consulting their partner can sound familiar. Like, it's my decision. I didn't want to stress you out. They wouldn't understand. Or I don't think it was a big deal. But here's the truth. The problem isn't usually the decision itself. It's how the decision is made. It's the process. It's the exclusion. It's the message underneath that says, I didn't think you needed to be a part of this. And that's where the hurt begins. What counts as a major life decision will look different from couple to couple. For some, it's moving cities. For others, it's changing jobs or taking on debt, starting or stopping therapy, or making choices that affect finances, routines, or long-term plans. One partner might think something is personal. The other might feel totally blindsided or excluded. And unless you've talked about what major means in your relationship, then you're both operating on assumptions. Clear communication about what matters before decisions happen can save a shit ton of hurt. Being left out of a big call can feel like a punch in the gut. It can feel like shock, and it is often interpreted as betrayal. And that is what specifically will show up as a loss of trust in a relationship. It begins to chip away at the sense of us and becomes more an I. Even if the decision doesn't change your day-to-day life, the exclusion itself wounds the relationship. It's not about the logistics, it's about the emotional messaging. You didn't matter in this moment. Or I didn't think of you. Worse again, I didn't trust you with this. Or even this one, I didn't want to deal with your reaction. And they all land very deeply. Let's talk about intent versus affect. Maybe the person who made the decision alone was trying to avoid conflict. Maybe they wanted to protect their partner from stress. Maybe they were trying to assert independence. Maybe they just genuinely didn't think it was a big deal. Intention matters, but it doesn't erase the emotional impact. If your partner feels hurt or shut out, that's what counts and what is important to manage in the relationship. Impact shapes the relationship far more than intention. Sometimes independence can become isolation if you don't include your partner. Pride or fear of rejection or even fear of judgment can make people handle big things alone. It can feel like, I'll do this myself so I don't have to explain or argue. Or this little sucker that I think a lot of women will understand, it's just easier if I do this shit myself. But that kind of independence often leads to the very disconnection that you're trying to avoid. You're not partners if you're making separate decisions in separate corners of your life. You're coexisting, not collaborating. Now, partnership isn't about permission, and that's a really important distinction. Sometimes people confuse discussing a decision with your partner as asking for permission. That is not what you're doing. It's not, can we do this? It's more about, what do you think about this? What do you think? You're asking for input into a discussion. And, again, this is often where I get conflict with couples, because when you're asking for input into a decision, it doesn't mean that the person is immediately going to agree with you. It means that they may hold an opinion that is different to yours, and that's okay. The problem is if you're trying to force each other to do something that you want, then again, you're not collaborating, you're bullying. Remember what I said, partnership isn't about permission, but what is it about? Well, this old chestnut that you keep hearing me rattle off, it's about respect. It's about inclusion. It's about acknowledging that your choices affect someone else, even when they feel personal. Consulting your partner means including them in the conversation. It means valuing their input. It means honouring that their life is most likely impacted by your choices. It means saying, I'd like to talk this through with you instead of I've already decided. Now, these two sentences create completely different emotional climates. So let's talk about gender and power dynamics, because they absolutely influence this. Some men fear that consulting their partner makes them look weak or indecisive. Some women end up carrying the emotional labour of decision making, assuming their partner will just toe the line. Some people grew up in families where one person made all the decisions, so they just repeat the pattern without realising it. These imbalances fuel resentment, frustration, and disconnect. Awareness is the first step towards fairness. If you've already made a decision without your partner, the repair matters. And repair starts with ownership. So something like, I realise I've made this decision alone and I can see how that hurt you. I want to talk about how we move forward. Don't lead with, oh, fucking hell, you're overreacting. Or, I didn't think it was such a big bloody deal. What's up your ass? Or, oh, I didn't want to argue about this. That, my friends, is defensive. Defensiveness doesn't help. Accountability helps. Accountability doesn't mean you have to change your decision, but it does mean you need to own that making that without consulting your partner hurt, and you need to repair the hurt component. Healthy couples build a shared decision. They basically build a shared decision-making culture. They create their own rules about what gets shared and what doesn't. You can talk openly about timing, expectation, and actually what big means. Practical tools include regular check-ins or joint planning sessions and, being open and transparent about finances, commitments, and the future plans that you both want for yourselves and how they fit into the relationship. These aren't rigid systems. They're relational habits that build trust. Partnership is about balancing the me and the we. Making major decisions affects both people, even when it looks like a personal choice. Consulting your partner isn't control. It's respect. It's trust. It's inclusion. And when you make choices with each other, not around each other, you build far stronger, healthier, more connected relationships. So I want you to sit with a few reflection questions and ask yourself, do I tend to make big decisions on my own or with my partner? And why do I do that? And then take it further. How do I react when my partner makes a big call without me? What does respect and inclusion look like in decision making for both of us? These questions are super important in being able to navigate how you connect with each other long term. Often big decisions always a little bit problematic. There's always a little bit of stickiness around them. So I often say to people, don't start with the big ones all of the time. Actually start with the little ones. This is where you talk about the everyday stuff. And a lot of couples can get annoyed or intolerant with each other on the everyday stuff. This is, what'd you do today? Well, I had, 14 loads of bloody washing I had to do, blah, blah, blah. I see couples in my office who one partner, whoever's doing the washing, the other partner, I can visibly see them bristle at this comment. It doesn't necessarily mean that comment is saying, I did 14 loads of washing today and you're a lazy shit that did fuck all. I don't hear any person say that. You might think sometimes that, but that's not what is said. Often, when people raise this thing, it's what their life is. If you're a stay-at-home mum at the moment, your life is probably some chores, a lot of kid crap, and that's your life, that's your world, that is what you did today. That is important to discuss as well. That helps reduce some of the mental load. It helps you stay connected. It helps you feel important about what you're doing. And it is important for your partner to actually listen to that. If you are intolerant to listening to your wife's day, regardless of what is in it, you are being dismissive. That does not help in helping someone feel supported, and it is support that is most likely what is going to allow connectiveness in order to make those bigger decisions. Now, flip that and you've got the exact same example. Just because your day is filled with kids and other stuff, you owe it to your partner as well to listen to theirs. It's important to them. Be aware of it. Have a think about what they're doing in their day. And in those discussions, you're able to ask each other, well, what do you need? Is there anything that's going on tomorrow? Do you need my help with anything? And when you can have those open discussions around the small tactical ways of managing a relationship, you're more likely to be able to have those same discussions around major decisions that will impact both of you. So, again, thank you for being with me here today. These conversations only matter because you're a part of them, so don't be a stranger. Come find me on socials, tell me what lands, tell me what challenges you, tell me if you want more information or you want less information, but tell me what you want more of. If something in this episode stirred something in you, pass it on to someone who might need the reminder too. And always look after yourself with the same care that you offer everybody else, because you're worth it. See ya. One of my big goals for this year is to get this podcast into the ears of more people who genuinely need it. So if this episode has made you think, feel, or see things a little differently, I need to ask you a favour. Follow it, rate it, leave a comment, or share it with someone who might need it too. The more you pay it forward, the more I get to keep doing what I do and hopefully help a few more people along the way. And don't stop there. Be sure to tag me at @VVincieTherapist so that I can see and connect with you. I love hearing your thoughts and takeaways, so my inbox is always open. DM me anytime. Thanks again for listening. I'll catch you next time.